Dov'è Gavis? Jemut live sorry. Keso tubi. Jemut taivri depan. Endo jagun Charles lui vali miri. Endo jagun Costas. Un tairi vali Sirio trikilsa. Jemut kiven jui depan. Unei siti vili vilat. Un tairi valotti.
We've got a bit of a change up with our people this week. Sadly, Brandy's not here. We miss her, but she'll be back next week. And we have a special guest. Twitter handle is Robinson's Bed and Breakfast, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so that's pretty long. So we're going to shorten that for the show and just call you B&B.
Perfect.
So welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Here.
Yeah, so you kind of busted on the scene on Friday. Would you say?
I know a lot of my coworkers are Minifans, so I kind of wanted to just separate myself. I didn't really want to out myself, so I kind of just kept to myself. I'm pretty introverted, so I just didn't want to be out. However, this quarantine has me doing weird shit, and I feel like I'm kind of sick of talking to my two dogs. So I wanted some human interaction, so that's why I jumped on the Zoom call, and I guess I outed myself, but
oh well, yeah, there you go. I've always had my full name on Twitter, and it's been fine. So Tara, you're the same, right?
Yeah, I'm just
full name, your face. It's out there. It doesn't really go far.
Out there now.
Right? No turning back now.
No, definitely not.
So I did a little research, kind of like it's our first date. I went on your Twitter and looked back, just kind of see. I'm like, okay, let's see if I can figure out where she hails from. And it seems like you were an EEI fan. Is that correct?
I was, yeah. So my mom, growing up, she would always have EEI on in the morning. First thing, Dennis and Callahan. When I started driving myself to school in high school, I found myself turning on 105.5 to listen to Dennis and Callahan, and then Dennis, Kirk and Callahan, and then Kirk and Callahan. And I've just, ever since high school, I've listened nonstop. And yeah, it's been quite a while. So
now, have you parted ways with EEI now, or do you find yourself you still do a little bit of both?
I've parted ways.
It's okay. It's okay.
I mean, I would always turn into, obviously, the morning show, the midday show, the drive home show, because I wanted to hear if they would talk about something crass that Kirk had said. And I wanted to keep up on that. But once he left, I didn't care.
Yeah, because they were given the order to not speak of it. So
correct.
Yeah, yep. No, I feel you. So are you a sports fan?
Oh, I'm a huge sports fan. Yeah, that's why I started listening. Sports fan, gotcha. So that just got me into it.
Yeah.
I like
Tara,
that.
Do you still listen to Jerry at all?
No, I think I listened fully to his first ever show, and then not even fully, what am I saying? And then I just didn't keep up with it. So
Yeah.
Do you listen,
Yeah.
Lauren?
I don't. And I want, when he was starting to come on the scene with Kirk here, I was getting excited about it. But I think Kirk's right. He just says they don't have the same vision, and that's okay, and the more he has isolated himself from it, the more apparent that it's just not for me, I guess.
and that's fine
But,
too. And that's fine too.
First
So
podcast,
absolutely.
I was super, super excited about it because I align politically with Jerry. So I thought
Sure.
that it would just really pique my interest, and nothing in his podcast, and no offense to Jerry, just nothing in his podcast really sparked it for me like Kirk does.
Yeah.
Right.
In the way
It's
that
not
he does.
fun, and if you listen to him for as long as you did, that it's a big adjustment to just, cut it straight, but it is different. So I understand that.
Very different.
Now, they talked about the Wilbur today, and I wanted to ask you, B&B, because I've heard you had some opinions about the Wilbur. Where do you stand on this?
So I bought tickets the very first day. I was super
Yes.
excited. And
Right.
when Blobe and I forget who it was,
Phil.
a couple weeks ago, they had a back and forth, and one of them made a threat. I'm like, I'm out. I'm not doing this. I'm traveling to the Wilbur alone. Even if there's a hint of a joke about it, I'm out.
Really? So you're not going to go?
I haven't sold my ticket yet, but also
Okay.
I did have a commitment on September 11th.
She leans in like, I gotta.
I know. It's like, wait.
No, go ahead.
Wait.
Lean in and tell us the dirt.
No, I did have a commitment on 9/11 also.
Okay.
Hoping that it gets moved because I do really want to go, but it's just like, if someone's going to make a joke about blowing it up, get the fuck out of here. I'm not dealing with that.
Totally.
Right. But I would say, any words on Twitter, I don't take seriously. And I think the alleged threat was just like a meme, literally a meme from Game of Thrones. I didn't actually see what was said, so.
Neither did I.
They were quoting something. I forget if it was from Game of Thrones or not, but they were quoting something, so it wasn't a direct like, I'm gonna hit up the Wilbur. But still, that makes me so nervous.
Sure. And I saw that you were saying, well, I'm not going because of the threat. And I said, oh, well, I have to ask her about this because I don't think I've seen anyone else with that take. So, I mean, I can't tell you, oh, how dare you not want to go due to threats. I get that, but
admittedly, it was probably a knee-jerk reaction, and I probably should have been like, you know what, these guys are just joking around.
But I think it's hard in this community. I think it's just hard to, I guess, interpret what people are saying, especially the craziness within this world. So I understand both sides of it, honestly, because I think in a different setting, you might question it a little more. And then here it's like, oh, well, people are saying crazy things all the time. So I guess it's just like, I don't know, an interesting situation. But I didn't see what it was about either, or the actual quote. I just knew that it happened. I knew something along those lines happened.
Yeah, and I've known Globe on Twitter for a long time, and I can tell you he runs hot. That's kind of just how he is. But I no, were you scheduled to go to show 1 or 2? B&B. 1. Okay, so am I, and you can come with me if you don't want to go by yourself. So more than welcome. I'm going with a girlfriend, so I think you'll be well taken care of. No worries. If you change your mind, I'm not going to make anyone go to something they don't want to.
Tara, are you going?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. First.
If anyone needs security at the Wilbur, people need security with Tara to avoid her running onto the stage. I think. See, she's nodding.
Just in case. I mean, yeah. Just be prepared. I'll behave. I'll behave.
Oh, I'm so here for it. No worries.
I love it. Lauren's like, don't behave. It's fine. Just go wild.
Please don't. No. I I encourage it.
Perfect.
So, did you have any questions for us, B&B, since we're kind of getting to know each other?
So my question that I had asked you guys earlier was just about how you guys got into EEI or listening to Kirk. And I know you've covered it before, so I'm not sure if you want to cover it again, but it was more just me wanting to get to know you guys too.
No, of course, Tara, go ahead and go first.
All right. So my fiance had been listening to Kirk and Callahan when he replaced John Dennis. So his boss has been a big fan. So he was like, "Oh, listen to this," and he got hooked. And then I think shortly after, my fiance told me to listen to a segment or something along the lines of that. I don't remember which. However, I became hooked because Kirk is a firecracker and he just has amazing takes on things and different topics that I'm interested in. And honestly, I was thinking about this the other day. I feel like I never really paid too much attention to current events or a lot of, topics that I should. So although I wasn't focused too much on the sports aspect of it, I enjoyed at the time when Kirk and Jerry would talk about just things that were going on in the world, and I felt informed. So I've been listening to Kirk for a while, even through his transition to Barstool, and yeah, I just have really enjoyed what he brings to the table and all of that. So
Nice. So I became a listener. This is random, and I'll probably be one of the only people who can say I started listening to Kirk because I played fantasy football with a coworker. I don't even really like football, but I like statistics. And he said, "You might like this radio show because of A, Jerry's politics, and B, Kirk is a little bit cynical," which is kind of how I run. So that is actually how I started listening to Kirk, through fantasy football. So there you go. And I've been listening since 2014. So
very nice.
Instant fan, absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you listen to our interview with him last week, B&B?
I did, and you guys blew me out. You guys were so good.
It was fun. Sarah, did you have any takeaways from it or thoughts?
I mean, as far as takeaways, I think one, I would say, I'm really appreciative that he was able to do that for us and all of that. Two, it's a learning experience on its own as far as communicating and interviewing. I never do any of that stuff, but I guess just trying to practice going forward how to form complete sentences. But I know we all
work in progress for me.
I mean, I think just in general, it was a nerve-wracking time, but it was so fun. I think it was just and I never thought that would happen. So it's just a really cool experience. So.
Yeah, I agree. I'm hard on myself. I always walk away going, "Oh, I had a chance to say this and I didn't," or
just do what I did.
Whatnot.
Dating, like say a million things in 2 seconds, and then you would have
just keep going, just keep rambling.
You were so excited. You could really tell that you guys were excited.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Have you met Kirk before, B&B? Were you at either event?
No,
the Vigil or not the Wilbur, Madawaska?
No, I wasn't at Madawaska. That was a little too intense for me.
Yeah. Would you try to go next year though, after hearing like how it went?
I'm not gonna lie, I had the biggest FOMO. The drive is kind of what intimidated me. I want to say that I'd love to try, but realistically, I don't think I would end up going.
Oh, that's fair. That's fine. It sounds like they are going to sprinkle in when we're out of isolation, you know, a bunch of stuff that people can be involved with. So, you know, you miss what, of course, everyone wants to go to all of them, but it's starting
And
to
that's why
seem impossible.
I didn't want to miss out on, I mean, I missed out on Madawaska, but I didn't want to miss out on this opportunity. So hopefully it gets postponed again.
Yeah, right. It sounds like it's going to be, which, you know, for you, yes, but I want that date. I want, you know, I need something to look forward to because the dullness is becoming exhausting in itself. So
it's getting old, getting very old. So yeah.
Now they touched today on, and B&B, I'm wondering what you think of the intern screw ups. Do you put full blame on Nick for these, or how do you feel about it?
Nick, because he's old enough to realize not to duplicate a police report. When I saw that, my immediate thought was, ooh, he's falsifying a police report, or at least trying to make one look as real as possible. But I didn't think that the cops would show up at Kirk's house.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, maybe Steve should have caught this. I don't want to blame it on Steve. I believe in personal responsibility. But I don't think Nick should have done it.
No, and both of the, you know, the snafus kind of are, yeah, he's at fault, but so are other people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just can't believe anyone picks up the phone and calls the phone number, no matter what it was. I'm like, what are you trying to accomplish by calling? I don't understand. And that was really my first reaction when Kirk said, "Oh, they got hundreds of phone calls." To me, that's very funny. Tara, how did you feel about it?
Well, I would have to agree with you. It's just, you know, the phone calls in itself. I mean, I'm not surprised. But with the whole thing, this isn't a typical job or a work environment that I'm used to. And I know that they're not getting paid, so I understand that. However, it seems like they can just do a lot of, I mean, especially with Nick, he can do all of these things and be at fault, and it, you know, nothing really happens. However, something did try to happen, and it went back and forth. So I guess there was no consistency with that. So I mean, it's a weird situation to be honest. And it's like Nick owned up to saying like, okay, I'm all set, and you know, at that point we would have been like all done with it. And then it was just like, no, like you're really good at this. And so I don't know, it's just I don't know. I mean, it must be nice, I guess, to be doing these things and, you know, you can continue working, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It's like how many privileges can you take away until it's like, okay, well, now this is really serious, especially with something like a police report or faking that or something serious, you know?
Sure.
I don't know.
Sure.
So.
Now, you're a student, right, Tara?
Mm-hmm.
Have you considered being an intern?
You know, it's funny that you say that. I mean, I'll still be a student for a year. I mean, I'm not good at graphic design or anything like that, but I am tech savvy. So I think being on Instagram, Snapchat, or, you know, finding ways to promote the show is something that I may be able to be helpful with. Even though, yeah, I have Snapchat.
No,
Oh no, I don't think they do. But I could create one. But then again, like I said, I created Kirk's groupie Twitter, and then I couldn't keep up with that.
Oh.
So I mean, I appreciate you, Lauren, for, you know, giving me that, you know.
Yeah, I'm working for you. No problem.
I know.
I don't know if you have to be a student. I'll intern. I don't even know how to Photoshop. So
I think you got this. I mean, I don't know. I can't keep up with what I have right now, let alone something else. But yeah, I think it's a very interesting process. And I'm curious about why the female intern isn't working out. Oh, she was spooked by something. She was kind of like, what did Steve say? Like, we spooked her or something?
It sounded like cold feet. Is that what you got out of it, B&B? They didn't say much.
No.
It sounds like maybe she listened to that episode where they were talking about like
she was like, oh shit, like I'm gonna be fired day one or something. Like one mistake and I'm gone, or like the whole drama stuff. I don't know. I mean, I
just like the fact that Kirk didn't even know about it. He's just like, oh, I didn't know. This is all news to me.
I mean, his reaction about like his reaction about like the cops coming over was just like, you know, is there something in the family I didn't know about? Like he's just like,
well, the cops show up at your door, and that's what you think. You don't think that someone's going to call your police department for a fake police report,
right?
You
Only
think that someone got in a car
him.
accident.
Only him. Only in this world. I'm not surprised, but at the same time, it's just like that's where the unpredictability comes in with everybody. It's like you don't know who's going to take what seriously or not seriously and go too far or just, you know, push just enough, things like that.
No, sure. So this brings me into, it's come up a few times, so I thought we would give our female opinions on it. They were talking about the, first they said that, is Nick good looking, and is that why he's not getting fired, which I don't know if I want to speak on the looks of an intern. I feel very Globe-esque even doing that. So I'm going to just, we're not going to mention that. But they said, well, who's the best looking, I guess just guys, because they're not including the females. So, all right, B&B, who you got? Best looking man on the YouTube channel / Minifan community.
Ooh, putting me on the spot first.
Go ahead.
What?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ooh, the best looking on the YouTube channel? Ooh, I mean, okay, so political answer. You guys are all handsome. You guys all look great. You do a great job. If I had to choose one, and I'm not great with names, but the guys on the conspiracy show, I think they're all such cuties.
Oh, all of the, okay.
That's interesting.
There you go. Nice shout out to them. Do you watch all of the, I mean, it's hard to watch them all, so don't, I admit I watch most of the YouTube shows.
Yeah.
So I don't watch them every single week, but I'll pop in here and there and watch them.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Everyone does such a good job of rest.
Yeah, I try to support everybody because I don't want to say it's work, but you know, people are giving their time, and you know, it's, I understand it because I'm trying to do this as well. So I try to support everyone who's doing something on YouTube. All right, Tara, go ahead.
Does just Kirk count? Not that he is, I mean, he was technically on the YouTube channel, so I guess like he counts. All right. I don't know. I feel like, and my fiance is gonna hear this, and it's whatever. But I think I said it. Maybe I said it out loud. I was like, "Oh, I like Mayo. Like, I think he's kind of
because he's taking a lot of shit right now for his looks, so he's gonna appreciate that.
I hope
there is
so.
No chance he's the ugliest on the YouTube channel. Absolutely not.
No, yeah, I think he's got it going on. Of course, Steve and TJ, I think they look great as well. So those are my top three. Aside from Kirk. Kirk is always number one. So
yeah, Kirk looks really, really good right now. I commented on something like, I think he's just working out during quarantine or something. He looks good. I was trying to think of a good doppelganger for him because I'm a big fan of that game, and I'm struggling. Maybe Ashton Kutcher. I think he might look kind of like him. I don't know. I kind of see it. Yeah.
Oh, I don't see that.
No, you don't see it.
Only because he doesn't have hair. Only because, but I don't know. He looks good. So
no, of course. Well, I have to come in and defend because BA took some shit on his looks as well. From now, have you guys watched this Alistair Black guy's
I have.
show?
I have.
Okay.
He's pretty cool.
He-
He must be around my age because it seems like we like similar things or like shows.
Oh
and
no,
stuff.
I think he's actually even a lot younger than you are.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm not calling you old, Tara. I'm just saying.
I appreciate that because people call me like 15 years old all the time. So I actually appreciate that.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he might be a lot younger than me, but I think we just have similar, like we came from the
Well,
same
you're in the same generation.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. So I kind of get where he's coming from in this world. So
There you go. Well, I don't know if you heard, he self-proclaimed himself as the best looking person on the YouTube channel. So
I'm not surprised.
and he dropped a bunch of doppelgangers, like the John Mayer and a couple other people, of course, I had never heard of. But you know who he looks like? I'm going to blow everyone's mind right now. When I was younger, probably about his age, my favorite movie on the planet was Father of the Bride.
Oh,
And
okay.
Martin Short was in that movie and played this very flamboyant wedding planner. B&B, you are with me on this, aren't you?
I know what you're
Doesn't he look like him?
I need to. I'm sure once I see.
Yes, you have some homework now, Tara. He looks exactly like him, but with the New Jersey boy. No, what's it called? Jersey Shore guy hairstyle.
Pauly D. Pauly D.
I don't know.
Oh.
That's the part I don't know. But Martin Short with the Jersey Shore hairstyle is exactly what he looks. He's not a bad looking guy, but that's all I see when I look at him. I take on the role, please, because his show's good. I've been enjoying it. But no, he
Is he your best looking Minifan?
No, that would be, well, like Tara said, after Kirk, I have to go BA because I have to stick up for my guy, of course.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Of course, yeah. You stick to it. Yeah. He went no windbreaker
So he
on.
looks like he looks
sorry.
like a mixture of John C. and
John
Seth
C.
Rogen.
Riley.
And I thought it was extremely wrong when they said Bendenson, because I think Bendenson looks like DEC. So like we can't be getting our doppelgangers crossed here. Come on now.
No, that sounds a little painful. A little painful.
But see, I think Mayo's not a bad looking guy. That's just I need a little grit. It's almost too pretty in my opinion. So Mayo, I'm sorry. I just did the rundown with him, and he was very kind and fun and informed, which are all things that are important when you're trying to, like Tara said, speak coherent sentences, because it's not always easy.
It's not.
So there we go. Hopefully we made someone's day tonight by giving some shout outs. Oh, and you know who else needs a shout out when we're talking about good looking Minifans is Ned Snart.
Oh my God! Yes, of course.
Yes, of course.
Yep.
Yes, he's
not a regular on YouTube, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you said that because he was just on Mike and the Minifans, and I was thinking about naming him the most good looking guy, but okay.
Not only that, but wore a suit for his Mike and the Minifans with Kirk, so he wants to do a YouTube show of like Ned Snark's charm school and teach these boys, how to be gentlemanly. I think that would be a good idea.
No pants around the ankles. No, pull your pants up, look nice. You gotta look clean shaven, clean cut. I don't know the terms that have been used, but yeah, I agree.
So that was another guy who definitely needs a shout out. You were a Ned Snark fan, B&B?
Oh yeah, he's a very good looking man. Absolutely.
Wow, these guys are going to be so happy tonight. After they see this, they're going to be so happy, filled with joy.
As my mind's going, oh, who am I forgetting? Because someone's going to bark about it, I'm sure.
I know.
No
They're
doubt.
gonna be like, oh, and what about me? So
Yeah,
What
right.
about me?
yeah.
So the other thing I thought was great on the shows recently was Kirk had two guests on with, you know, differing opinions of his, and it was a good back and forth. I feel like we haven't heard that in a while. So B&B, I'm assuming this is something that you really enjoy for content as well.
The back and forth, you mean?
Yes, yes. Just
Oh,
Kirk, you know,
absolutely.
the way he debates people and the intelligence behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what he asks for all the time, is just someone to disagree with him. So when we get that, it's like, oh, yes, I can't wait for this. And he did a great job with that gentleman. His name is escaping me. And even
I think it's
DRB.
Robert. I wrote it down because
Oh, good
Oh,
job.
look at
Robert Little. There you
She's
go.
doing her intern duties already.
I know, taking notes.
you. Got it down pat.
Trying.
So Tara, would you agree that those interviews it was something we kind of haven't had in a while, and
Yeah.
it just proves Kirk's point that you don't have to agree. The gentleman who was on, I didn't agree with a lot of his points, but I will listen to him because they're having an intelligent conversation.
Well, that's the big thing, and one of the main reasons. I mean, I couldn't get it in form words yet last week to him, but one of the main reasons why I admire Kirk and, you know, became a big fan of him, because, you know, I think this day and age, nobody wants to hear the other person, and they don't want to have that back and forth, whether they don't know all the facts or they have too much pride. I mean, I see it all the time where, you know, people that I go to school with, they don't want to hear what I have to say about certain things, or they're, you know, like the woman that was on too, based on their own opinion and what they've experienced, and don't want to listen to, you know, other people's experiences, or just like a general, you know, consensus about it. You know what I mean? So I think hearing that, and Kirk challenging people, and not even in a hostile way or not in a negative way, but, you know, a normal way. I feel like all of this is healthy and should be happening. So that's why I like seeing this, because it, you know, it's a way to educate people and to, I don't know, spark more of these conversations.
Yeah, absolutely. So I thought that was important to point out, just because it was very refreshing in my opinion. B&B, anything else from the shows recently that you wanted to point out as a highlight for you?
That, while we're on the topic of interviews, so DRB's, was
Yeah.
that Thursday or Friday? So DRB's interview, my real issue with her was that she made the guy who Brady walked in on as a racist, as trigger happy, and we knew nothing about that. She was also very much saying that her opinion was fact.
Right.
And obviously her opinion is not fact, but she was trying to argue that it was her experience, so therefore it stands. And Kirk did a great job pointing that out to her, but I don't think she really
It wasn't
sunk into her.
resignating. No,
Yeah.
I agree.
And that's exactly the point of that I was saying. It's like, yeah, your experience, and that's the other thing too about them, is I understood that she wasn't getting it, and I think people like that, or just that I've come across, they block that out, and they just, you know, really think that their opinion or their experience is more valid than, you know, the facts or all the information or other experiences, because one experience doesn't fit all of them. So I agree with what you're saying, B&B.
Yeah. Tara, anything else from the shows this week that you wanted to highlight?
I will say the calls are really good, especially today. I mean, this whole week in general. I mean, we're really getting some quality content and finding out who Kirk's dad is, or, you know,
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's never a dull moment. Never a dull moment.
No.
I mean, I do in a way.
I mean, we hear the president and we heard Kirk's dad. I mean,
I
what more
know.
can you ask? Like,
I do feel bad that Mike gets a lot of shit, but I mean, I think it's just funny, and I'm hoping that he goes along with it for the most part. But I mean, especially today, I think it was today. Kirk was like, "Oh, you're here to talk about how much you don't like Mike or something," or like saying that the predictability of these callers. But I mean, it's so funny to listen how they go back and forth with all of that. So, yeah.
Are you planning on trying to call in at all, B&B? Or have you called?
I'd honestly probably have heart palpitations from being so nervous. So probably not.
Oh no, I feel you. I feel you. I did a call to WEEI, gosh, years ago, and my voice is pretty much unrecognizable because I was just so nervous. I couldn't even get. It was worse than this, and this isn't great. So we'll
You're
just
doing
put
great.
it that way. Oh, but yes, the callers, like if you had asked me maybe 3 weeks ago, was I a fan of the callers? I probably would have been like, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it. And now I feel like they're hitting their stride. I'm a big fan of anything that's an impersonation. So, I hope, I wish I was more creative. I'd do it more often, but sadly
I agree. That and the prank calls, I can't figure out for the life of me, or just like even think about where to go from it. And I also can't keep a straight face. So I think I wouldn't be able to be serious through it or like stay in character. I just would give it up like in a second.
No, I agree. And the logistics of it is a lot of work because you have to know like a station to call. You have to know how to record it. And, there actually is a lot to that. So, Tim and Canton, we salute you.
Yes.
You do a fantastic job keeping most of us, basically all of us in podcast Jesus's good graces just by doing all of the work for us. So,
yes, exactly.
Oh man. Well, it looks like sadly I think B&B lost service, but we're at time anyway. So
perfect timing.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll be back next week.
All right, sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.